Hello and welcome to Rock Paper Shotgun. This is the voice of RPS video person Matthew, and today we're celebrating the best co-op games on PC. Now for me, the art of a great co-op game boils down to unpredictability. It's those moments of spontaneous madness that can only happen when another clumsy human is in the mix. You'll sometimes get your act together and pull off feats that would make a cold AI sick with jealousy, but for the most part you're mopping up each other's disasters, and that's perfectly fine. Speaking of cleaning up someone's mess, if you feel I've missed your top game from the list, please do include it in the comments, and make a proper case for it so everyone can benefit from your wisdom. But for now, let's activate player 2 and dig in. Towerfall Ascension's bitter multiplayer matches made it a graveyard of ruined friendships. 4 chums enter, 3 bruised egos leave. So what is it doing on our co-op list? The answer lies in the 2-player quest. In this mode, all that pent-up versus anger can be aimed at a common foe, with 2 warriors shooting down waves of vindictive crows and skeletons. It's hugely satisfying to have each other's backs as you snipe enemies just before they attack, or clean out huge areas of the screen with coordinated bomb arrows. But at the same time, co-op does nothing to sand down the sharp edges of multiplayer. Your arrows are still capable of killing friends, so you have to shout out warnings and dodge past each other's shots. I particularly enjoy passing arrows between 2 heroes with a dodge grab. It's a move you'd curse when it's done to you in versus, but it's repurposed here as a trade system, unless they fudge the interception and your donation thuds into their guts. That does happen a lot. Either way, Towerfall is a great example of twisting skills designed for multiplayer upset into a whole new kind of co-op game. Maybe try a round or 2 to clear up the bad blood from versus mode.
Everybody on the ground.
On the rare occasion it all goes to plan, Payday 2 perfectly taps into the fantasy of the well-oiled bank robbing team. You strut into the joint in your best robbing suit, case it out in a moment of calm, before quietly shepherding staff into the stationery cupboard and seizing all their lovely gems. Pull it off and you're Ocean's 11 minus the smugness. Also, I'm not sure George Clooney ever put a man inside a bag and threw him around an alley. But when do things ever go to plan? In the movies, there's always that hothead crook who blows the operation. Well, in Payday 2, you're often playing with a whole team of that guy. Often you are that guy. Fudge the stealthy approach and it becomes a wave defense game, with police flooding the building as you protect the world's most belligerent drill. This thing takes eons to chew through a safe. One can only assume the door is made from the hardest substance known to man. I'm of course talking about the artisan baguettes at Pret-a-Manger. But as fun as it is to leg it around the streets with a bag of cash on your back, it's that promise of the perfect stealth run that has you diving back in with a well-trained squad. You'll need 4 trusted friends, mics all round, and character perks leveled up to give you the tools for the job. But finally pulling it off will have you wondering if you might be able to do it in real life too. Top tip, I wouldn't risk it.
Hey, Tony, come with me.
Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes is all about defusing bombs, and it makes me feel nervous before the game has even begun. I mean, look at the team's headquarters. That knocked over bin on the floor does not suggest a careful workforce. They haven't even unpacked or decorated. This is very much the office of a team that does not expect to make it to their next payday. And having played a few rounds, I can understand why. The game is played with a group of people in the same room, with one sitting at the PC. They prod at the bomb with mouse clicks, while the rest of the team is huddled over a bomb defusing manual they've printed off the internet. This does mean that you have to type bomb manual into your web browser, which always bodes well. The important bit is that neither party can look at what the other is doing, or at least they shouldn't, or the whole thing is about as exciting as reprogramming a microwave. Played properly and it's a desperate game of communication. The group hurriedly flips the pages to find bomb components, while the diffuser investigates the bomb for batteries and labels that hint at the correct model number. The rules governing defusal are just tangled enough to ensure lots of arguments about whether everyone is on the same page, so you can expect lots of those "cut the red wire, wait, no, it's the blue wire" moments. Cut to lots of close-ups of sweaty upper lips and wincing moments of truth. And the way the game drags co-op tension out of the screen and into the room gives it a flavour like no other game on this list. So give it a go, but carefully, okay? Zombie survival games are everywhere. In fact, it feels like there are so many zombie wave defense games that I want to hammer planks over my monitor to stop the genre from getting into my eyes. But if you have to kill waves of the undead, few games do it better than Killing Floor 2. There are different classes that complement each other with bespoke equipment, but for me the appeal lies in the escalation. This is a game that locks 6 people in an enclosed space and slowly hands them spending money for a magical gun machine. What starts with pistols and shotguns grows into a din of buzzsaw blades and microwave guns. Although the monster types evolve as time goes on, I love the team's lethality come the final round. I especially love that given this, the final boss still thinks it's a good idea to wade in. Yeah, I fancy my odds against every gun in the world. Another great gimmick is Z-Time, which is a short 3-second pocket of slow motion that can randomly trigger when someone pulls off a snazzy headshot or long distance kill. For a brief glimpse you can see everything that is happening with perfect clarity, like being able to stare into one of those dust clouds that happens when they fight in cartoons. For those 3 seconds, everyone is a ludicrous poser, sniping off heads as if it was nothing. And if that doesn't bond your co-op team, really nothing will. Where most of the games on this list channel friends towards very specific fun, Divinity Original Sin 2 has the scope and the guts to let a party run riot through its story. This classic RPG is famed for its adaptable narrative, but it's not until you plug in 2 to 4 people, all pulling in different directions or deliberately opting for a collision course, that you see how elastic that story really is. While you could partner up to tag team quests in a more traditional manner, pottering off on your own sees the tale unfold in unusual ways. You might end up killing a character who is intended for a partner's questline, or swiping items that are key to their investigations. Some stories are deliberately written to cause co-op conflicts. If you play as lizard-hating Sibyl and someone else's actual lizard, the Red Prince, those two paths are going to collide. None of this is breaking the game, of course, but creating new organic hurdles for the party to leap. Just on a technical level, this is a really versatile experience. 4 players can join online, or 2 can share the world in split screen, or 2 can play in split screen while joining another 2 online. Original Sin 2 bends over backwards to accommodate you, so the least you can do is test those boundaries for yourself.
I'm ready to blow!
Borderlands 2 ticks a similar box to the Killing Floor 2, as it's all about the beauty of escalation. It's a shooter made by maths nerds where a burst of fire sees numbers pop out of enemies, pick up their drop guns, and even larger numbers bleed out of the next goons you meet. As a cycle, it's as Moorish as whatever it is they put in Pringles. Is it potatoes? Plugging 3 friends into the mix amplifies the effect. Everyone brings their procedurally generated weapons to the fight, so no 2 skirmishes play out the same way. Someone's spraying corrosive rounds out of a shotgun while another lays down covering fire with a rocket launching sniper rifle. All the while their XP bar along the bottom is lighting up like a Christmas tree, albeit one powered by an endless stream of death. Start factoring in different character builds to serve different roles on the team, and the rather simplistic missions, most of which are a variant on go to X and kill Y, begin to blossom into more bespoke stories. Okay, most of these stories are, remember that time we shot 1,000,000 bullets at a thing? But at least they're memorable, and what is a good co-op game if not a farm for anecdotes? Las Vegas is home to the world's greatest co-op teams. Think of Siegfried and Roy or Elvis and Burgers. So it makes sense that Rainbow Six Vegas 2 lets you tackle its campaign with a friend. But it's the classic terrorist hunt mode that you'll really bond over. The idea is simple. There's one team, one large location, and a whole lot of terrorists to clear out. It's a mode that'll be instantly familiar to anyone who's played the more recent Rainbow Six Siege, but this actually feels like a fuller version of the idea. For starters, the option to customise characters gives it more of a bespoke edge. Your approach is governed by a loadout you've earned, rather than picked from a limited menu. And while the freedom of approach you get in Siege's sandbox levels plays brilliantly in competitive modes, I actually find Vegas's boxed in levels create higher tension. As you're dropped into the corner of enemy-infested train yards and wedding chapels, there's a tangible sense of being on the back foot, forcing you to carefully creep up on corners and earn a more defendable foothold. One thing that hasn't changed between Vegas and Siege is that dreadful feeling in the pit of your stomach when everyone else on the team is dead and is watching you bumble through as a lone survivor. I can sense my team cringing at clumsy play, which is truly worse than any bullet. Here's hoping they forgive me for the next round. With its random murders and muggings, GTA Online often resembles that theme park all the naughty boys visit at the end of Pinocchio. It's a place you can be as horrible as you want and still get rewarded for it. The pleasure of its co-op missions is being able to explore Rockstar's playground with other people, but having them all pull in the same direction for once. Well, until the lobby spits you back out into the city and you rob each other blind. The heists are the highlight of the co-op missions. Chopped into a series of smaller setup tasks, you gradually prepare the ingredients for a delicious robbery salad, which is the big exciting mission at the end. The best of these deal out specific jobs to each player. You might be laying down covering fire as a sniper while friends cower behind some bins, or you could be putting out fire with a hose so friends can loot from smouldering remains. Of course, many missions boil down to one massive shootout, but even these are spiced up with medals handed out at the end for individual performance. The only downside is that you really need 3 friends with a fair amount of time on their hands to get through the lengthy setup stage. Strangers are much more likely to lose it like Trevor Phillips and cause progress to halt. But once all the pieces fall into place, these missions are some of the best co-op adventures around. Left 4 Dead is a collection of definitive cooperative moments. The moment you hear a witch's sobbing and skid to a halt before provoking her, the chaos of a tank charging out of nowhere and eating up round after round, the breathless dash to safety after holding off wave after wave of attackers in the level's final standoff. And no two memories are ever the same, thanks to that malicious AI director watching the action and adjusting difficulty and pacing on the fly. In many ways, Left 4 Dead is the mirror image of Original Sin's go anywhere, do anything approach. This game corrals for survivors every step of the way, punishing teams that leave a man behind and pouncing on any lone wolves, quite literally in the case of a hunter attack. The actual interactions between party members are remarkably simple. There are no bespoke classes and only a handful of equipment to differentiate people. With everyone capable of the same heroics, it creates a space where you can be heroic together. Now, the RPS hive mind has selected the original for this list. The sequel builds on these rock-solid foundations, but none of the core ideas were bettered. That said, Left 4 Dead's campaign can also be played as part of Left 4 Dead 2, with a few updates to incorporate the sequel's ideas. Yes, it's a game so good, they made it twice. Portal 2 manages the impressive double act of being the smartest co-op experience around, but also the most accessible. Now, its brains come as no surprise. When you take an outstanding single-player game about traversing puzzle chambers with portals and double everything, it makes sense that it becomes twice as complicated and twice as fun to solve. Just having 4 portals to play with turns every room into a juggling act, as your partner fires themselves out of one hole and you catch them in another, and when you do get half the team to the exit, you often realise getting both there is going to require 2 very different approaches. And that's before you start factoring in gadgets and gizmos. You know, when you've got a light bridge passing through 4 different portals, good luck remembering which bits you can and can't turn off. And really good luck if your colleague decides to deliberately dunk you in the water anyway. Because as smart as Portal 2 requires you to be, it is always light-hearted with it. The 2 robot heroes have more personality than some games have in their entirety, largely thanks to dancing emotes. That's all part of its accessible charm. Valve also kindly include a pointer system, which means you don't need a mic or a shared language to talk a stranger through a solution. Why is this not a thing in all co-op games? Never again would we have to try telling someone to go over to the round thing by that blue thing. No, the other blue thing. Forget about it. It feels like Valve solved so many co-op problems, all in the name of giving you co-op problems. But the good kind. The kind where 2 robots high-five at the end. Honestly, cooperative experiences don't come much better than this. So those are our picks of the best co-op games on PC. Now is a good chance for you to cooperate with us and offer your thoughts below. Maybe we should include the YouTube video comments as the 11th greatest cooperative experience on PC. Share your most thoughtful thoughts and we'll see how it plays out. If you enjoyed this video, please do think about subscribing to Rock Paper Shotgun. You're only one tiny button press away. And I'll see you again with more moving images and mouth words. Goodbye!